Je Chodan Zojin Jona La Shanja Bada Damo Jazun Agwe Chishe Jebe Samam Je Rola Benja Sanje Drabal Sho Sanje Chodan Zojin Jona La Shanja Bada Dana Jazun Je Agwe Chishe Jebe Samam Je Rola Benja Sanje Drabal Sho Sanje Chodan Zojin Jona Shanja Bada Dana Jasamje Aga Chishe Jebe Tamamje Ola Pecha Sanje Draba. Okay. Good morning again. Good morning. Okay. Everyone comfortable with that? I'm sure you guys are comfortable. Epaya, health strength. Comfortable, everyone? That's good. That's good. Anyway, it's wonderful to be able to some pray, practice, meditation. Therefore, we're going to do a little bit of meditation, okay? It's like simple way. Visualization in front of you. First, you can go to our mind, calm down. A lot of sounds you can hear at the outside. That is difficult to concentration. But not try to avoid. Ignore that. Not try to like that. Okay, it takes more that. I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear that. You can hear more clear that. Just focus on your own business. Okay. For the breathing meditation, because this is like technically to keep our body and mind both like simple as very deep, breathing in and out a couple of times. Doesn't matter what you can hear other side, just don't pay attention that. In front of you is image Buddha Shakyamuni or whatever you usually use meditation in any deities, Buddha Shakyamuni or Avalokiteshvara or Lama Tsongkhapa, whatever you visualization, from a little bit higher than the you, above the your, like head. It's colorful, very clear. Okay, that's good enough. That was marking for sleep, then maybe fall off. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. This guy, stop that. Are you guys frozen? Okay. Oh, good, good. I thought it looked like you guys like statue, not moving. Anyway, I always mention for everyone, whenever you just get up, rejoice your, survive, or you stay you living, stay you able to you breathe, able to move. Just recognize, awareness those things. Then you enjoy your day. In the evening also, whatever you have done today, you rejoice. If you do some mistakes in things, something you are not like to do, you say, okay, I'm not doing any more luck tomorrow. Like that. And also, at night, when you go to sleep, you can recite Om Mani Padme Hum, or listen some of the chantings. Because it keeps through that way of sleep. It makes all our sleeps, virtuous activity. We create the, positive karma. We don't want to waste our sleep. The Lord can do good ways to use. We don't want to waste that, right? Otherwise, just waste. We will try to not develop or not thoughts to any ignorant things or it's negative thoughts. I always mention as Buddhism also idea, we're looking for the negative way, any kind, we only see the negative things, false. If we see the positive way, we always see the unpositive, we don't see the negative things, false. Therefore, a lot of things also depends how you accept the other side, right? Like that. Therefore, this is like our daily basic practice. That's important. And I'm not talking too much. And everyone knows at Buddhism, start to clean our mind. How much we need to clean our body? As same as we need to do more than clean up our body, mind, like that. Then clean the mind is not wash. Doesn't work the very strong chemical. Clean the mind or the chemical is the practice dharma. Then practice dharma means you say, okay, I have to do retreat maybe 3 years, I have to become monk or nun, not like that. Always awareness, aware your own activities. Any kind, any situation brings your mind unhealthy, unhappy, and try to avoid those things. Doesn't matter good or bad, because it's destroy our peace of mind. Then try to, physically, mentally, whatever you do things to good motivation to benefit someone else. Think that become, virtue activity. Okay? That's like our daily practice. Looks my internet's not very good. I can see did I move? Yeah. Hablo más para más ok, ya te dice la cosa más.
Hola. Hola, ¿cuánto puede estar hecho ahora, tío?
Like this kind of situation, do you see that you can hear all the voice walking around? This is how to practice patience. It's a we meditation, we study what this guy is talking about. No pay attention there. We do our own business. It's good to also practice patience, right? Right? Stop talking. I'm practice. I'm listening to the teaching. You already destroy your mind. Only your mind just focus outside, not focus inside. Those things, we say, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. Doesn't work. Don't pay attention. Okay?
In India.
Yeah. This happened, the Tibetan tradition. I think I already explained for this story. One time, His Holiness gave the Kalachaka and DC. And one Western person behind him, 2 Tibetan Amaras that. His Holiness talk about it. Okay, now you think about that. There's a guy taught to write all things. Amaras, what? He got mad. But this is a bit different tradition, how you say? Yeah, taught to not pay attention, whatever they talk, okay? And that thing, the who's lived the Zoom, they're very quiet, you guys just your home. Your pets or your family members doesn't make the noisy, then you guys just very quiet. Best time to focus the teaching, no one bother you. But this is a good to also practice patience today because we have the sinners being here. The sinners are already here. They're just talking. They didn't meet in I think 1 month, and they'll come together. They're very happy to talk each other. Therefore they enjoy the outside, and we taught to concentration or meditation, but we can hear only their voice. Right? And we can hear only the airplane. Then we say, what they're doing that? Those things are how to also avoid, just don't pay attention. How to, what are you looking, just pay attention that way, okay? Yeah, in the Jira. I can see the book.
So the teaching we're studying, the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life, is very beneficial.
That namju 나도 쇼주 로종 제전에 다 지금 쇼주가 된다 도도로 미치는 레시 잡 다 쇼주 또 가르치 나도 냠내치네 또 버절을 제와 체거 나 대마저 와나 나도 미치게 쇼주가 가르치거든 저한테나 난 미치려야 고와 만을 반 레시 잡는데 대야 배도여로.
So the best result of studying and practicing the Guide to the Way of Life is if you can gain the experience, the realization of bodhichitta, then that's the best. And at least, if someone were to ask you what is Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life about, then if you can explain, to them without any mistakes, then that would be a very good result as well.
And 대학 당한서 뒤에 름반도 뒤에 디컬이야 차단 제와지 시야게 되서다. 맞춰면서 그 뒤뒤로 신경을 납토나 아니 벤토로 와.
And so since there's no time for all of us here to go into a depth study, and so if we can roughly say in brief what is Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life about, then that would be good enough as well.
제가 가서 사실 라다이나 다람스나 지게 장보름 속소 아니 지난 셴베 제세야 돼. 근데 미치기 지난 사반남다기 돈에 지게 딱 란도고 콜라 간디도 쉬워야나 지난 텔라야 수수강 쉬워다 사반남다 반 대시 잡나 대 셴베레스 텔하게 고 말레스.
And I think it is in Ladakh, where His Holiness explained about benefiting others. So if someone were to ask you about something, related with the Dharma teaching, and if you can explain, with the very a good motivation or intention to benefit them, then that is benefiting others.
근데 영화를 안에 지금 슈트가라마데 조조제 되고 말고 계셔시다 자두사 가와이나 되제 오르스.
And so to do that, you don't have to be sitting on a throne and giving teaching. You can just explain to them in a regular conversation or while drinking tea or just having a chat.
그래봐. 다 들리 다 가르쳐고 다 네게 쇼주고 나라 셔야 돼. 아직 샹적고 셈세디. 마케와 깨와시나 깨와 마냐바시다. 대 고니 보탄 걸 송도 요래.
And so this is what is the gist of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life is that it explains how to generate bodhicitta, which has not been generated, and how to not decline the bodhicitta that has generated, and increase furthermore.
안에 다 오늘 샹적고 셈세 가르래라나 안에 자오셔방고 셈제 반을 젠더서 양다더비 샹준데서 셈제세데 제 셈제 탐주기 되다 양다버도 상제 공부 톱고도 된리가 삼술 된리가 시바 오 된리질야 샹적 셈라 그래스.
And then also the meaning of the bodhicitta or the mind generation, when we call it generation of the mind or the mind generation. So generation of the mind of enlightenment. What is the meaning of generation of the mind of enlightenment? Is generating the mind that wishes to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of others. So that's the meaning of the bodhicitta or the mind generation.
오다 된리가 셈데 다 샹조 셈조 럼보시 마제 반음 계시 껴와 냠반 뭐 고네 고노로 쇼로가 되나라 슌주고 또도 된다 또도 차사도.
So in that verse, of the bodhicitta, the precious supreme body mind made where unborn arise and where born never decline but increase forevermore. That is, that includes the whole meaning of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life.
오체다디 특히 콘데 쇼게야 나가라 소소문은 잡 삼반난다. 인디게 특히 마 쪼치 테나지 영화 쇼 삼노티 강라 샤한테 데터나 샤접섬 곰세드네.
And so if you can recite this verse, like when you wake up in the morning, you recite this verse and keep your mind on that, on the meaning of that verse, like where it talks about precious supreme body man made where unborn arise. So it's made arise or made be generated. If you just keep your mind on that thought, and that's meditating on bodhicitta.
Okay. 다디는 것도 너도 차서 와. 샹적고 셈세 가르쳐서 아니 색대자. 가르쳐는 안 샹적 셈처럼 보지 마. 틱틱 어따 뒤 되나 너도 샹적 나는 시기요래서 난 딴 데시 잡아 잡토요.
And so if you are able to tell or explain to someone that this is what Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life about it is about, then that's the brief or the gist of the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. So then that is good enough.
Okay. 아때 파테 텔제와잖아. 부다 슌주가 레고 쭈단 봐요래. 레고 쭈.
And so if you go further more on that, then if you expand more on that, then there are like 10 chapters in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life.
아니 쭈바 되겠다 후회래가 가지 샹주고 셈 곰바 맞자와 째와 만져봐 고는거 되게 곰베 회데 아니 다 도전 뭐요 될 후회래가 그랬어.
And so then the 10th one is the chapter on dedication. So dedicating all the merits that one has accumulated to develop that bodhicitta.
Okay. Try to go in the arena. Maybe after I'm going to ask questions, maybe not. Okay. That should have been the Namjunado thing out of Pesha Tangle to the younger Pena. And they showed you Tenda Karana, Shanchu Samper, Tati Karikarana Pa, Shun Kosajam Late, Nabi Pesha Tangle, Kalikau, the Chance of Kayomar.
So this is all about Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life. It's all about generating bodhicitta and making sure that it doesn't degenerate, and working to increase more and more. And so even for somebody who's studying like philosophy in the monastery, will find it difficult to explain exactly what it's about, or what it's all about in regard to Buddhist way of life. And for you, of course, who are doing just study or practice on an occasion when you have a time, and it's of course difficult.
Okay. 샹조 선자 마제 반 제제 지사디가라 아니 션조 내가 담보 숨되는 줄 알고.
So the first 3 chapters of the Guides of this way of life is all about generating bodhicitta that has not been generated before.
네.
Yeah.
아니 마제 반은 저리서 마제. 제가 냠밤에 받았어야 되가 아니 시황하고 두번 숨되는 줄 알고.
And then the word it says, and were unborn, never decline, is is explained by the next 3 chapters, the 4, 5, and 6.
뭐지? 다 고네 배워셔서 아니 덤바제와 거와니 다다 티셔요.
And then this is about increase forevermore. It's explained in the next 3 chapters, the chapters 7, 8, and 9.
못된 데서와 당이 샹조 샘조는 뭐지 되나 봐 두드렸다 되나 잘라 되가 하드 되나 강갈룩 돌아 탑시거다.
And so this the hard drive of this verse, bodhicitta verse, is holds or stores all the information about the entire guide to the Buddhist way of life.
예 담보거든. 샹조 샘체 받는 젠더 시세야 돼 샹조 샘조는 뭐시에서 디나 되어시로 샘체세야 돼.
So the precious supreme body mind, so which is the mind of enlightenment, right, or bodhicitta, and so that is as I explained earlier, as I mentioned earlier, that is explained by Buddha Maitreya in his Ornament of Clear Realization. So the generation of the mind is to gain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
샹조 샘조는 뭐지? 다 마제 받는 계시셔야 돼 쇼로가 담보 숨지.
And then is- So the first line is explained about the bodhicitta. What is bodhicitta, right? As I explained, the intention to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then the next line, which is made where unborn arise, is explained in the 3 chapters, the first 3 chapters of the Guide to the Buddhist way of life. And then the next line, and where born never decline, is explained by the next 3 chapters, the chapter 4, 5, and 6. And then but increase forevermore is explained in the next 3 chapters, 7, 8, and 9 of the Guide to the Buddhist way of life.
아니 쇼로가 쩌와됐다 덴데기 페이진지 샹조 샘때 공부하는데 개베자와 강연 받아 조자는 호이 자다 호와들이.
And then the last chapter on is the chapter on dedication, so dedicating whatever merit that one have accumulated in achieving enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Okay, 아디 고쳐서 다 주마. Maybe you can close the door. Yeah. Well, we have not enough patience. This guy's a lot noisy that kitchen. If they bring tea here, that's nice. We have tea party, right? But they don't bring tea here. They just make the noisy there, and we have not enough patience. I think okay. Okay, now you guys got read. Everyone got it read. Sometimes I ask a question. At that time you talk, okay, I said, what first chapters you need to like that? I said, talk about the 5th chapter, then you have to say exactly like it. No, maybe like that, maybe I guess like that. That doesn't work, okay? I explain for you. First, the main goal is to whatever we know, we practice and what's engagement the karo.
General realization.
Or general realization. This is the main goal, main purpose practice. Secondly, if not possible, like me, I'm not possible that. Then if someone asks asking me to explain how you divide, and try to good motivation to help for them to the education about that. That'd be one way to practice purpose to study, okay? Therefore, not thinking always, so Geshe just talk about one same things, say again. I try to make to more, in order to see the result. I have to same thing to talk again. Otherwise, yeah, I studied that 10 years ago. I forgot now. Okay. My English and Tibetan got mixed together. That's just I'm 되게 변화 쉬운지고 내가 담보대 찾아 질러 가야 되니 소소 막곰 삼당하다 아니 쉬운지 내가 담보대게 가르쳤는다 샤접 센서 페이지 모레 샤접 센라야 센터 수수지라 째나 아니 가지 니버치 모레 펜도요레 야보시라를 들라고다 대 말로 째니 곰자고다.
And so this is the first chapter which talks about the benefits of the bodhichitta. This is the bodhichitta is very beneficial. It has great potential, and it's very powerful, and so forth. So it explains about that. Then you understand that, oh yeah, that has a great benefit, and it's something that I really must generate in my mind. So then you have to think about that, and then keep your mind on that thought. So that's meditating on the benefits of generating bodhicitta.
제가 드레이전에 자성을 맞추려 되는 소속에 배나 까와도 말하고 저바이 투모는 되니 펜벌 수세야 되거든. 그러니까 레나가 자성 파투지 다 된다 노동이나 그래서 되는데 쇼가서 놀랐습니다. 되지요.
And so if just recite each verse of that chapter, like the first chapter which explains about the benefits. So each verse explains to you the benefits of bodhicitta. Like the first chapter, verse which starts with saying that the Buddhas have contemplated for eons and didn't see anything more beneficial than bodhicitta, such like that. And just read that and then contemplate on that word and then on that meaning.
Okay. And randomly, gender carried the one I shan't send the Congo to song.
And whatever you want to do, whether to fulfill the wishes of yourself or fulfill the wishes of others, you need bodhicitta.
Okay. And I'm random the gender carry away to the logic of the one that is on the blame by now.
Like nowadays, you need to have a knowledge to benefit oneself and benefit others. Like in this world, you need a knowledge.
아니 저 샬라야 never 지거나 로조고도
in order to cause harm to others, a big harm to others, you also need a knowledge for that, right?
그 재단 시고요. 재단 로종사 빼는 거다. 제 도전에 아니 서로가 담보 가로 서로 내가 현주 내가 담보 될 걸로 로종체. 근데 되네 제가 다 된지게 페이지 사주대 소수질라 저라 나 가르치 사주서 계획도 가르치 오는나 근데 소수 나로데 다 이즈 개먹고 쇼치모 잡네 다 싸마서 거를.
And so then so you think just like that. Think about the benefits of the bodhicitta like that, and something that you must have, just like you must have the knowledge, to do anything big, bad, or good. You need a knowledge, just like that. You need bodhicitta in order to benefit others and to benefit yourself as well. And so that is the benefits. So just by thinking about the benefit, you will not be able to generate bodhicitta. So there are things that prevents you from generating bodhicitta. So what are they? Those are usually the negativities, the obstacles, the negative karma. So that's what it explains in the second chapter, how to overcome those negativities. So that's the disclosure of wrongdoings.
디나네 조직하나 상조선 gelachewala 빠싱 가래 조직하려는 조도에 랭가자야 상조선 gelachewala 다 조 요라 시간에 가래라나야.
So what is so if you were to ask, what is the main obstacle, that prevents one from generating bodhicitta? What would you say?
Okay, Mark, you can say. Okay. How you say, Vika? Okay. How you say? Motion. Anyone?
I'd say self-grasping.
Okay. Bob?
I mean, I agree with Mark. The biggest obstacle is self-cherishing mind.
What do you think? Okay. What do you guys think? What Laura, you think?
The self-centered attitude.
Okay. And who would like to talk? Okay. Now anyone who likes to say?
I agree that it's self-cherishing, self-centered attitude.
Yeah.
Self-cherishing.
Good, look at good. That's good.
Self-grasping.
That's good. Yeah, sub-grasping. Then sub-grasping, the sub-charging.
self-grasping 단지라. 단지도 말아. 근데 다 self-cherishing 은 진진되다 원이라.
Yeah, 너도 너무 치면은 이거 아라니 진짜 득박 근지 있고 만남 진데 얘네 근지 셔.
So yeah, so self-cherishing, self-grasping, yes, of course, that is the whole thing, but self-cherishing is like the main obstacle that prevents one from generating bodhicitta, because that's like only thinking about oneself, instead of and not thinking about others. So in bodhicitta, you have to think about others, right? So that's why. So self-cherishing attitude, just like in the Lama Zopa, it says cherishing myself is the doorway, doorway to all the torments, like that.
Okay, like that. This is good. That's good. You guys very good. That shows you are very, catch that the main point. The purpose to practice study, we need to catch the main point. They explain, they talk so many things, but we need to something to catch. Okay, I got that. When you have something to, someone give some lot of things to give me here. They say, okay, you can take anything what you want. We just looking. Maybe we don't find anything. No good. Just pick up something. Therefore, you pick up something like this is correct. Subcharging. No, this is the main mind to obstacle to not what's that? To generate bodhicitta. Okay, but we have to exchange the thought. Another semche pan generate yanda to be shanchu sende. Then yanda about the semche tamju the yanda about the gende karke genji te some logic is on kun tata kando.
So just like it is said in the Ornament of Clear Realization by Buddha Maitreya, that generating mind, is to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So when you say that, then that, gives a correct definition of bodhicitta.
Okay, 다디는 당하다 대쇼가 다 가능한 또 쇼로가 말 쇼줄레가 두반다 다 두바데 아니 샹체선 주유지라 제소한테 다 뭐년바 아니 셰페기 내가 담아 차대기로 와.
So now, so that's once you have generated bodhicitta, then you have to hold it on and hold onto it, and making sure that it doesn't degenerate, right? So that is explained in the next three chapters, the 4, 5, and 6. So we're on the 6th chapter, which is about holding, preserving the bodhicitta that one has generated.
Okay. 디기 다또 티나니 또 데카레 다 콘트로데레스. 콘트로 숙치보여와나 아니 디기 소도 지제네. 샹초섬 냠도 그래. 조바 냠도 데다다 조바 공고래.
So what can cause us to degenerate, right? Decline or degenerate our bodhicitta is one of the main factors, is the anger, right? And so you have to control the anger and overcome the anger. And for that, you have to practice patience. So I think we were, I think around verse 30, right? Verse 30, and up to that we have already, discussed about. And so then we talked about, there's no independence because everything depends on the cause and conditions. But then someone says, oh yeah, there is the independence. There is this the general principle, which clears everything, and it doesn't need a cause and condition. It just created by itself, and so no need on that. So we also, kind of negated on that also, right?
I thought by here. Are you driving? Okay. Someone fly from Zoom to the present here. Can you guys fly from through Zoom to here? You can jump. 제가 어떻게 다 근데 쇼로가 숨주 소식되는 마음가도 드리는 시작이다.
So we're going to have discussion from the verse 31 now, okay?
나디 가나 다디 칼라 가나 안에 쇼로 정신 받아 지워도 좋은데 바가는 단들만 가려서나 아니 저리 라오지 요 말레스 아니 참아 아니 제가 라레와레스 도스고요다.
So we negated, the assertions of the Samkhayas and other non-Buddhist schools, right? And said that there is no independence. There is no independence. Things can't exist on its own, from its own side, and it has to depend on the cause and conditions and the parts or nominals and so forth, right?
단들이 가시거나 아니 너만 고쳐버려.
And so from here, it explains about again more about the interdependence, how things are dependent arising.
아니 딱 공조밤 좀이다. 아니 조바 공야 시다 제단 때문에 되는데 내가 체유 자수대 아니 다 땡데 남자 시바데레스 땡데 똑바데레스.
So there are many different ways you can prevent the anger or overcome the anger. The best way, is to think about the interdependence.
와, 아니 강시 땡주 많이 중간에 봐 많이 디제 동화만 중간에 많이 넣어서 나는 지금 뭐 송으로 와. 아니 나도 지금 간지 직대는 로당 가르지만 때네 뭐죠? 얘는 때마가 지요 뭐 얘는 때마가 왔다 라와요 말에스. 나 대시와 라와 멤버 시바데다 때네 약수들이 하 네, 가로 단속이 뭐 약수들이 해서
So just like Lama Zopa said in his praise to the interdependence or dependent rising, and so there isn't phenomena that is not dependent rising, and there isn't phenomena that is not empty. Yeah, so every phenomena, everything that exists has to depend on something for its existence. And so therefore, there isn't anything that is not dependent rising. And so knowing that, is the is the best, antidote to the self grasping or grasping at the true existence.
Okay,
So let's read this verse 31, 32, and 33. So hence everything is governed by other factors, which in turn are governed by others. And in this way, nothing governs itself. Having understood this, I should not become angry with the phenomena which are like apparitions. If everything is unreal like an apparition, then who is there to restrain what? Anger. Surely in this case, restraint would be inappropriate. It would not be inappropriate because conventionally, I must maintain that independence upon restraining anger, the stream of suffering is severed. So when one sees an enemy or even a friend committing an improper action, by thinking that such things arise from condition, I shall remain in a happy frame of mind.
Okay, who able to do like that? Especially the last one. It's okay, whatever you want, just. 제가 단디 쇼로가 담보디가 간지 아니 소소라 콘트로 땡에 역강이보다 참아 쭈바다고 시고 그래 쭈바다고 삼고 그래 쭈바 무지다고 삼고 그래.
So then the first verse, the verse 31, is saying that whatever the object that causes us to be angry, we should see that object as operation.
답변은 게 네가 변한 cup nigga. Lambo cheese, the Trusha and the Chunda, that then the money hit somebody.
So it's like a creation, of magician and creation of magician. So magician can create all these different kind of things into things, so like a piece of rock or stone into like an animal, like an elephant, right? And when you know it is just an operation, then you will not have that strong grasping. So like I said, I turned this piece of a cup into elephant. So you know that, and then you will not have this strong grasping at this elephant as a real elephant.
제가 소소 내차 기회시 만나요. 들어봤다. 공도 기회시에나 시도. 알아마 구자.
So whatever object that give rise to any kind of afflictive emotions, like an object that give rise to attachment, and you should see that object as an operation. And if it's the object that give rise to anger, then you should see that object operation.
I think that's finished. Oh, that is I'm going to catch Jama. I'm not going to this. I'm not the case. Keja man kejo kudu nyendo da. I think once in Abia. I'm not the college. College mother. College mother. Is there a college that? And that chance of mother. People here like 80 years old sinners here, they just difficult to sit, and I just talk about that. Okay, that is. I'm a go. Go. Maybe you can give a small like this one, she can put behind her. No, yeah. I'm a Samo. There, I'm a Jalosha. I'm a Jalosha. Okay, that's good. Then leave that, yeah. Okay. No, that is okay. Okay. Sorry. Hang on to the. They thought them to change you on. They won't get. They won't mess now. Can't you know so? Suzu sympathy will never share down. Somebody was some. Change you on. Gelatin you go. Change. Cause round me and Jama chamber that. That's round you matters.
So everything, just like saying, hence everything is governed by other factors, which in turn are governed by others. So nothing has independence. Nothing is doing intentionally or independently. Yeah, so everything is dependent on others.
And it's some
So everything is governed or controlled by a cause and condition, and the cause and condition itself. And the cause and condition themselves are also governed by other causes and conditions. So nothing has power on its own.
Or the Teta Shinets, Trubata Shining Ibokan and Tromashad, someone like Kurusai. I'm just telling
Then it says, by having understood this, I should not become angry with phenomena which are like operations.
Was a Tapesha and I chose a picture. I talked a little bit. Example, the sinners coming here, they're difficult to sit down, got to move, and they're not choice because the age. We feel that we say, what's going on? This guy doesn't know. We are listening to teaching. They make a lot of nosy. You think that it's create more negative karma, negative thoughts for our mind. We say, for them, the old age, they have no choice. They're not able to keep the quiet. You think that way, then you don't think that, how is that, negative way. Correct? It's work, right? Like this is exactly the talk about here. Right? Kundula Rawa yo maris. Kundula Rawa me the Tawata Vishi. Teshine any Nibo Kani in the Kanjikurosa yo maris.
And so by knowing all the things like that, like a operation, and you should not get angry towards them.
Okay, I think this verses and the sinners coming inside is a very good example. Nibo Kalan Thomas, Chesa Nessa Kandi, things who the same two maris.
So you should not get angry, towards any situation.
Right? Number to do, take same chip to do, Cholola Kajagan to chip to Della me and Chata Kanga to do. The Tamako Raming Jajaro.
So there are so many things that are disturbing us, right? The airplane flying above us is making noise, and the people walking outside is making noise, and people coming inside is making noise and disturbing us, but they have no control either, right? So you can't get angry towards them.
I number to shooting road, can you share no chin? I want something that you Mataban money.
So sometimes the airplane flies above us, not all the time. Sometimes they fly in a different direction, but sometimes they fly, in our direction, and it makes noise and disturbs us.
And then Duba Dogo tell us how you want to back so such a.
That's because they are travelers, right? The travelers have to travel, they have to reach to their destination, and we can't get angry over that.
제가 두째 sometimes that dig tapesha that occasion that they choke hakona choke something to the one oh chin Tama Rawa Mepa Jana Rale Yemba something the check Meva Hakona Suzuko Kanji Sem Mantua the Sembal Hilo Pankasari.
So what if it's like that? What does it benefit us? We might think like that, but if we really understand this situation, that they have no control, they are not doing it intentionally, they have no control over their situation, and so if we are able to think like that, then it will help us not to be disturbed, and not to get angry towards them.
아마 진짜 추구야 추동네 아마 이렇게 잡아가지고 내가 가면 진짜 she's always teasing her because 아마 you don't no, she's always teasing that's why I say shut up 아마 진짜 추구인데 추구야 추 먹어야 라 뭐야 오케이, 제가 친구들이 사람들이 마주로 내가 사람도 그래. 당근에 단단 담블레야. 제 중을 맞대요. 간지 강에 제 중을 요단라 아무다 못되나. 저 오늘 지미가 섬진이 제거다. 오늘 강가 아니 라원 두도 못 되는 사람다고. 다음 가래. 그래.
So in this world, we see so many different kind of problems, right? Small problems, big problems. All these problems do they create, do people or the environment or the situation create these problems intentionally, or it has no power over it? It has no control over it. Is it happening on its own, or it is happening by the force of other conditions and causes? So we have to think like that.
제가 라원메타야 나도 처음아 그냥 나랑 게 있으면 가서 처음 라원서 묘모도 영화 제대로 라원요 말했어.
So if we think in that way, then we'll find that none of us have a control, over ourselves. We are all controlled by our delusions.
그렇죠? 어두 something, 드네 something 아닌 것도 semble relevant. 텐데방 생도서 빼. 안다 쇼로가 섬지 소지대 특히 뺀 거는 냠바지도.
And so instead of blaming the person, if we blame it to the person's delusions, then we will not get angry towards the person. So that really helps to control our mind. So this verse 31 is really beneficial. We also cause others to become angry, right? By the way we look at them, by where we look, by where we talk, to them, and all these things can create them to become angry at us, right?
미세가 담보 간도 계시에 그랑 간도 수질라 끊어라 이런가 고코로라고 섬 끊어매와.
So the way you talk is the way you talk, right? It's not like you said, oh, I'm going to talk in this way to make that person angry, right?
옛나야 간도라 계시에 시야대 라와요 말이야. 간도야 딱 끊어고 일로 도박이 내 제거 말다 일로 간도 일로 도박이 간도 일로 도박했다. 이지 시바티 요번으로 차대다. 가와 줄라나 가릴람나 간도 제대로.
And the way we talk is also controlled by our mind, right? Our delusions and our mind, delusional mind. And the mind says, okay, talk in this way, then we talk it that way.
근데 일로 도박 배는 간도 미질라야 미카리나 소소를 람돈 쟁에 다 말아주기 와나 그 람데 노제잖아 제가로 쟤네 간도 내가 대 쟤네 농투모 모용 거로 와.
It's like a wrong guide. You know, if we follow the wrong guide, then we'll only go to the wrong way or do the wrong things, right? You know, it's like that. And our mind, our delusional mind, is like a wrong guide, who's guiding us, you know, to do or to say, you know, to look in wrong ways.
She's the most strong lady. She's like 80 years old. She can go everywhere. We should go to herself India. Because she has very strong confidence. Therefore, we need to confident anything. I said, I can practice bodhichitta. Why not Buddha Shakyamuni do? I want to look at the show what I do. Guide to the Buddhist. Why not I'm not doing? We need to confident. Confident takes for everyone. Okay, what I'm talking about that. What I said before? You forgot?
Everything arising from causes and conditions in our own mind, afflictions arising.
Yeah, okay. Therefore, another one, yeah. 제상 안주고 샘디기 안주 샘고 요거래 샘디 너무 영어简单다 그 잡죠 그 랍돈 중에 오면 안주 근데 내가 도장이 제대로 와 내가
So we are controlled by our mind. You know, we're like the servant of our mind. We do whatever the mind tells us to do, and mind is guided by wrong mind, like delusion. You know, so wrong minds. And so the someone who is guiding us is guided by wrong guide. And therefore, what we're doing is wrong.
like that, right? Okay, 다 저렇게 소치된 로서 다 손이 받는 다 근데 참아 안에 라오 매바치 아니 양원지 장장이 봐나 안에 랑은 마트 와라지 마잖아 아니 가리 곰네 지금 변나 녀보치 곰네 녀모치 빠게 요 말아 와서 드니까 도반으로 오셔 와이나스 강시 도샤 나스.
So if everything is like an operation, right? Nothing's real. Then what can prevent what? You know? So like what anger, right? So by doing what kind of practices can prevent or overcome, you know, the anger? So if everything is governed by others, right? Then nobody has power. Nobody has independence, right? Then how do we restrain, you know, the anger and so forth? So we are controlled by our mind, and mind is controlled by the delusion. So if the mind is controlled by delusion, then how can we overcome the delusion, right? Because, you know, everything is controlled by something else. So we just sit there and be controlled by others, right?
Yeah. 이만은 대대가레스 아니 텔라틴니 등한 진짜 매버는 더 미릭메스 자상 제라 라와 제라 라레도 요리나이나 된 담바 아니 트바 매와 인자 아니 군주도 아니 등한 매와 요와 람 곰발네 뇨모파 요와데 아니 미릭바 요 말에 해게레 에산로서.
And then it says, surely in this case, restraint would be inappropriate. It would not be inappropriate because conventionally, I must maintain, you know, that in dependence upon restraining anger, the stream of suffering is severed. So even though it doesn't, it doesn't exist ultimately, but conventionally, you know, this mind can be can be restrained by other minds.
아내레서나 근데 조선비난 기실라가 잔통외래 삼면나 내 자만 봐 Chuyowa Hakung Loti, Chantu, some Loto Commerce.
So like for example, you're thinking, oh, Geshe is drinking tea. Geshe is drinking something, so you think, oh, Geshe is drinking tea. And then those of you who knows it's not tea, it's a water, will be able to eliminate that mind that thinks he's drinking tea.
Tea is delicious. Just kidding, like, so, Zeta, any Digla, any Akajo, Nomo, Gata to below, taking no more Sotogres, or Raji Tremena, Rawa.
So, even though it doesn't exist inherently, independently, but by generating the mind that directly contradicts with that mind can be overcome.
Okay, like that. I think we stop like that. Talk too much. Everyone got? Yes.
Question. So if we're saying that everything arises from causes and conditions, even our own intentions arise from causes and conditions. It's like we have no control. We should have compassion for ourselves, but we change by understanding the results of our actions and getting wisdom. Like if we know which action causes suffering, we learn not to do that. If we learn not to trust the delusions, we stop trusting them and we get a better result for ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What do you think?
Really, all that.
Yeah, this is correct. Because this is through the knowledge study. We know this mystic. We don't want to go through again that. That's this right way. Yeah. Example, some food causes your stomach. Always study eating. Why you eat? I like that, but you have to stop the eating like that. It's same in the hospital. They always say don't eat that like that. Especially go to Tibetan doctor, they're asking you so many things don't eat. Yeah, this is good. Therefore, the knowledge is very important. You're not just forced to do something. No, you have to. You said, oh, you're not allowed to angry. Just someone forced you. It doesn't work. We need to find the false or angry because it destroys our own, happiness. Therefore, it's able to stop, as like you explained like that. Okay. Okay, guys. Now there's some sinners coming here. I think we stop. Okay. And like that, study the 2 verses. Okay. That very special. That I think 31 is very good for everywhere. Okay. Any emergency questions? No, right? You guys very kind. No questions, then I'm more relaxed. If you guys have questions, then I have, to.
Sweating.
Sweating. Okay, what can I say? Then you have no question, then I'm just free. Okay. Now we stop here.
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah, Deborah.
Is it easier to understand this verse by looking at one's own arising of anger, or is it easier to understand by looking at others? Because I think it's a little difficult to understand it.
At our own. Better to our own. Yeah. Because we have no choice, right? We got something mad. We have no choice. Yeah, you can do both sides. I think our own is much better.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Page 39, Thanksgiving model offering. She perki juching metal drum, Eva Miji Nigan Pagi, Sangi Jindum Minte Wagi, Toku Nambaji Maju Show, Jetson, Amikote Rapton Jing, Namkatrin Lecho Chuggy Ada, Osam Ten Pedra Nexasungi, Doe Muntalta to Neyorchi, Yedam Gururat Namandala Kam Yatayami. My two collections vast as space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom lies blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach the state, may I be held in your love and compassion for all my lives unusually. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhists by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by a strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the paths I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time.
With my heart going
out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread or declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path raised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and the oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzing Gyatso Chen Rezi remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the snow-like teachings and transmigratory beings who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion. To the lotus of the head, Lord, and to the long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduers on our way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Mahayana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. Page 57, prayer dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's faith, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. 875, Tema.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you here.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Dam Show. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Hello.
Joshua.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Dan Cho.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Okay, you guys can, I think let's push back this questions a little bit around behind that. You can move this first one, push back, then leave that. Put away the books. And then fine, yeah. Okay? Have a good night, good day. Good night, everyone. Laura and Linda, good night. Other people, good day. Okay? Oh, yeah. Yeah, push back this once. Lama, yeah,